The first trailer for Season 2 of House of the Dragon is finally upon us, and I am so excited. It's so great to see all of these characters back on our TV screens after so long, and I cannot wait for the summer of 2024. Today, I'm going to be going through this trailer, giving some general thoughts, but more specifically going into two areas in which I think they might be changing elements from the book and the interesting implications that those changes may have. The first of those will not have spoilers, the second will, but I will have warnings for any spoilers as they come up. But yeah, let's delve into analyzing this brand new trailer that is just released. And before we jump into things, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I do all kinds of videos on House of the Dragon and anything A Song of Ice and Fire related, and any support really means the world to me and would really help the channel grow. Thank you again. General thoughts, it looks excellent. I love essentially everything that I see here. All of these characters seem to be, once again, like themselves. There's some interesting angles taken on all of them, too. You can very much tell that Rhaenyra is kind of withered from the experience of losing both her daughter and her son in such close succession. And it's interesting to see how these characters kind of are taking shape in Season 2, as we see Helena in a weird spot, and we actually get to see Aegon sit the throne for the first time that we've actually been able to observe that. There were several occurrences that made me say that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I think the top two for me are Daemon's armor, which looks like just a better version of his episode 1 armor and kind of bigger and just looks neat. In addition to the shot of Vhagar coming over the tree line, which I just absolutely love. I'm a big Vhagar fan, especially given the fact that she was the subject of my most popular video, and I am so excited to see what war crimes this wonderful grandmother gets up to in Season 2. It's also quite interesting to look at who is in this trailer. It does seem to focus entirely on characters that we already know. We do know there will be new ones upcoming in the second season, but there aren't very many of them in this trailer overall. It is nice to check in with them, and it is really cool to have this kind of variety of narration. I find Otto's at the very beginning also quite interesting. The number of mistakes that occurred on the death of Viserys Targaryen, as I don't really know what he would be calling a mistake there. I think mostly probably the death of Beesbury, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's super interesting to see all of these characters back in the world. I do wish there were more Aemon and more Corlys, but that is my only complaint with the trailer. Moving on to potential analysis and changes, the first of these comes from what was my favorite shot in the trailer, that being Rhaenyra and some other dragon rider on a silver dragon having a stare down on the beach. I think that this dragon is quite interesting, as well as its rider, as it could tie into one theory I had back during the airing of the first season of House of the Dragon. Specifically, that silver dragon is probably one of two dragons. The main one that it looks like, at least from my eye at this point, is Sea Smoke, the former dragon of Laenor Velaryon. The interesting element there is the fact that we know that Laenor is still alive. That is a very marked change from the books, and this could pose some problems for any future riders of Sea Smoke. As far as we know, a dragon can only be bonded to one living rider at a time. That said, it is interesting that Rhaenyra is having a meeting with just this dragon rider specifically on the beach. That makes me think that maybe this could be Laenor. This could be some reunion between the two, or just some long-awaited conversation, because it doesn't seem to be hostile, and given the fact they're on a beach, it does seem like they're still on Dragonstone, at least to some extent. I know there are elements of this theory that do not quite work. Most specifically, we know the individual who is going to claim Sea Smoke has been cast for this future season House of the Dragon. I won't say who that is or spoil his plot at all, but we know that he's been cast. However, I do think that there is something interesting that could happen there. I think that they might change this dragon rider, who, if you've read the books, you know who I'm talking about, to ride a different dragon. The other potential dragon that I thought that this could be on the beach is Silverwing. Silverwing is the mate of Vermithor, the dragon we saw at the end of last season, and is also unclaimed on Dragonstone and will likely be attempted to be claimed at some point in Season 2. My thought is the character that rides Sea Smoke in the book might instead ride Silverwing, with the character that initially rides Silverwing in the book. His name is Ulf White, is just, I think, maybe completely cut. We've seen no casting news on him, and he honestly doesn't have all that much to do in the story anyway that can't be folded into the role of another character. So my thought is there's a non-zero chance that the character that is going to claim Sea Smoke in the books could end up claiming Silverwing in the show. Albeit this is just based on a single shot of a trailer, so we will see when this season actually airs. There is another shot in the trailer of this mystery person potentially being seen with Sea Smoke, so this could also be an instance of an element of the book being rearranged, with maybe this being the first person to claim a new dragon and then meeting with Rhaenyra because of that. Overall, I still think it seems like a really interesting shot and scene, and I'm quite excited to see it unfold. I'm not entirely sure that this theory is accurate, but I am quite excited to see exactly how this scene plays out, as I think it could be a very interesting exploration of how this bond between dragon and rider work. This conversation between Rhaenyra, who is somebody who's been bonded to this dragon for entire life, and either the estranged Laenor who has returned, or this new individual who has suddenly bonded to a dragon and is potentially just trying to learn exactly what's going on. This connection could be pretty interesting to explore, and I think it would be very cool to see throughout the season, regardless of how it ends up playing out. And before we get into the spoiler section, I need to cover the biggest news from this trailer, that being that House Rosby is officially in the show. What up? I am so excited. Best house ever. I am able to see the future based on my recent videos. And this is another sidebar because I am recording this as the official stills are coming out, but two of the official stills make it look like Aemond and Daemon are having a meeting, and I just cannot wait for that to happen. So, the final change that I want to talk about concerns a battle. So, spoilers be ahead for what looks to be the final battle of the season or close to it. So, the Battle of Rook's Rest is a very important event in the book as it results in the death of, spoiler, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, the queen who never was. We do see a series of shots that do seem to match up to this battle's description in the book, in the trailer, but there are some other weird elements. We get one shot of Baela on Dragonback yelling about something, and we get a shot of Aemon on Vagar's back, seemingly starting to steer away from something, and that cuts immediately to Rhaenyra doing the same thing on the back of Syrax. It seems as though either Baela or Rhaenyra is also going to be present at Rook's Rest. I don't think it will be both of them, because a big element of this battle is the idea of Rhaenys being overwhelmed by these two dragons, which I don't really see happening if they have the numbers advantage. So overall, I think that while Rhaenys will likely meet her end in the same way, I think it'll likely be before either Rhaenyra or, more likely, is my thought, Baela. I think that Rhaenyra will still be recovering from all of the events happening in the end of season 1, and I could see Baela going to support her grandmother in this final battle and end up essentially fleeing in order to preserve her own life and her dragon's life while having to see her grandmother die. I think that would just be an excellent moment and an improvement on an already really good battle sequence. It could also end further complications to other battles coming up in the future of the series, specifically between Baela and Aegon. Should I be studying for law school finals right now? Yes. Am I taking a break to record this video? Also yes. Will I regret it? Probably, but I'm very excited, so I'm happy I made this video. Overall, I am just so excited for Season 2. I'm going to do a ton more content on it in the near future. I will do a ton when it's releasing. I am just so excited to be back in this world again with new stuff actually releasing. It's nice to have an actual show and not have to pour through 20-year-old outlines to get some new stuff on the books. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and it does really help me grow the channel. I really appreciate any feedback, and I look forward to seeing you all throughout the future of House of the Dragon come summer of 2024. Goodbye.